because I just messed up the last live stream somehow, and I never go live on this channel and never intended to go live on this channel. So, and I have on my AirPods. So, if anyone ever joins, if you could just let me know if you can hear me at all, that would be fantastic. Hey, VQ, can you hear me? Hey, Pat. Can if anyone can hear me, can y'all put a one in the chat? Oh, y'all can hear me. Good. This feels so weird and so extra. Hey, Golden. This is just ridiculous. Okay, thank you. All right. So I have no, sorry for all the rustling and all this, y'all. I'm actually supposed to be trying to get ready for bed. I have a sick child. Um, I'm really just creating this live. And if people see it, whatever, I don't know if they will. I really, whatever they see or don't see is their business. But it's it's been funny, but it's also not funny. A bunch of drama that has been happening the last few days, and so um, really, all of us are strangers to one another, and so I guess this is supposed to be fun or funny, but it's just gotten really pathetic and vindictive. And when it gets to the point where it's going to hurt people, and I don't mean me by people, I mean the people that I help, then it's time for me to clear some things up. So, congratulations, Crater Face Brown Eye and Sheena, who is live now. You all are spreading lies along with Kang of Bums. That's what your name will always be to me now, Kang of Bums. Congratulations for spreading salacious lies all over the internet, and all of your little troll cronies that you have in your chat. But you can shout something to the rooftops with all kinds of curse words and all kinds of insults, and that doesn't make it true. So um, I popped in and I was laughing at how stupid this stuff was. But because there are some things that were mentioned that were serious, I'm going to try to recall some of those things and address them. And when this is over, because probably only a very small number of people will see this first, because I never go live on this channel because I'm not a content creator. So there's very few people who would even think to even look at this. But secondly, because I had just scheduled a live stream and did something wrong and had to close it out. So if anyone did see a notification, it was probably for that one and not for this impromptu one that I'm just doing on my phone. So first, I want to address, hey Kenyatta, um, the obvious, ridiculous, insulting, and silly remark that has been stated. There is nothing romantic going on between myself and Vaughn. There never has been, there never will be. Despite all of the complaints about paying for homeless man pain, you moved a homeless man and his children. Yeah, Texas with ya. And all of that stupidity. Despite all of that nonsense and how comical it is, that is not the case. Vaughn is an adult and he can choose to move to wherever he wants to move. Houston, which is where we live. Yes, I live here and he lives here. It's hilarious that Brown Eye and Sheena are acting like that is some kind of um, like revelation. We literally said that on the fundraiser homecoming thing that we did on Marcus's channel. Marcus has over 200,000 subscribers. Vaughn has mentioned it numerous times. I have mentioned it numerous times. It is no secret. It has never been a secret. Only when he first moved down here, like he was kind of doing a fun little game where he was talking about day one in Mystery City, day two in Mystery City, where he revealed he was in the South and then later he was in Texas, but it wasn't. So he came here in April, and I think it wasn't until maybe early May that he revealed where he was. But since then, it's been clear that he's here. So He can choose to move just like he chose to move to Atlanta, just like he chose to go to college in Kentucky. Even though Sheena claims that he has no education, he's far more educated than you are. But just like he chose to move to Kentucky for college, just like he's chosen to live in Mississippi and Arkansas before for work, because yes, he does work. He typically is a working person. Just like he chose to move back, hey, Glossy, move back to Ohio, where he's from, he can choose to move to Texas. He has always been interested in living here. He has visited here before and was interested in coming here. So he chose to move here. I didn't, quote unquote, move a homeless man and his children down here for my own gain because of sex, despite the foolishness. That would be human trafficking. And I think he's kind of an adult and a grown man. It's kind of hard to move a 6'6" man against his will somewhere. So that is a lie. He moved here of his own volition, which he said out of his own mouth numerous times on his own channel and on Marcus's. So I want to debunk that lie. The lie that my sister and I were trying to steal Ileana's baby, that is being told on Sheena's page now, hi, forgiven, is also a lie. I don't even have a sister. So nice try. But of course, the person who lied and said that I was trying to steal Fabrielle's baby would say that. So this person has no credibility. But anyway, let's go back to some of the other things that were stated. So, debunking lie number one, that I moved Vaughn here for my own gain. Vaughn willingly chose to move to Houston because this is where he wanted to be. It is the fourth largest city in America: New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and then where I have lived before, Craterface, and didn't have sirens in the background everywhere where I lived, and Houston. So he has chosen to come here, and this is where he is currently living and raising his family. Um, Next story, for you to say that Marcus and I are misappropriating funds and being illegal shows how foolish you all are. Hi, Contagious. I'm so glad to have you here. How foolish you all are and how little you understand about anything. First of all, Marcus has two daughters, just like I have six beautiful children. Yes, I have six children, and wouldn't do anything to jeopardize the children. He wouldn't put his business that he takes uses to take care of his children in jeopardy for something foolish, for less than $700 that we gained from the fundraiser. So that was something that we're grateful for, that people use to help the family. But that's not something to risk one's freedom over. However, um, it is there is no reason for us to sneak off and use people's write off homeless people for our personal gain, because Marcus has both a for-profit and a nonprofit entity. I'm not going to get into that, but he was kind enough to host this. But my nonprofit is the one that collected the funds. Some people sent funds directly to Vaughn, some sent them to my nonprofit, which I'll talk about because it was also there was also slander and ridiculous things that were stated about my nonprofit in the lives. So when you give money to a 501c3 charitable nonprofit, you can go on the IRS website and view this for yourself. It is a tax write-off for the person who gave. It is not a tax write-off for me or for my organization, because I'm a person. My personal taxes have absolutely nothing to do with my nonprofit. The nonprofit organization, which is required to file taxes every year, does not pay taxes, is tax exempt. So that wouldn't be of any benefit. And everyone who gave, I've mentioned before and I'm mentioning again, if you would like a receipt for your donation, as I've mentioned repeatedly, please contact staff at advocacywithoutborders.org and we will happily give you one. It is completely tax deductible. So debunking that foolish lie about scamming people for money, it is expected of nonprofits that you have that development is part of your repertoire, that you should be seeking donations on top of grants or other things. So that is a foolish thing to say. That makes absolutely no sense. However, the next thing I want to mention is that someone mentioned that the nonprofit has four staff. Yes, we're small. We have a number of interns and we have fellows and we have volunteers. We have a great partnership with Rice University in which we get interns from them every year. But no, we don't have a whole lot of employees, especially in this economy when the current administration has clamped down very hard and attacked research and a lot of other entities. So it has not allowed us to grow, but we are happy. It says on our website, they are small but mighty. So to call us a crackerjack organization, I guess take that up with the federal government, who with whom we are in good standing. We are not $60,000 in debt, as someone lied to say. I don't even really know how a nonprofit can get into debt, but maybe larger ones can borrow money or something like that. I have no idea how that works. That has nothing to do with us. That is all untrue. But let's see what else was stated that was a lie. Um, the title, the clickbait title of Brown Eyes Crater Face's title of about my husband wearing panties. My husband is a traditional cisgender heterosexual male. No, he does not wear panties. He wears boxers. For the other foolish lies that were stated in the let's see, let me think what else was stated. That I'm manipulating, trying to steal Vaughn's children, that trying to take them from their mother. They know who their mother is. She is not involved by her own choice. We're hoping that that will change. No one is trying to steal his children. I'm sorry that people don't understand the concept of godparents. But godparents are people who are in the child's life to try to be provide a spiritual foundation. They're kind of like the equivalent of having like an auntie or an uncle. I don't know why I should have to explain this. I think this should be something that should be is not uncommon in the Black community at all. In fact, the only people I know who have grandparents in my personal life are Black people. But again, I'm sure it exists in other cultures too. But there are people who are involved who promise to try to um, build up the child spiritually, or the children. And in case of the parent's demise, and there isn't a relative who can take the child, you promise to do so that the child doesn't go into the system, or in this case, the children. There is nothing salacious or scandalous or underhanded about that. I'm not trying to steal anyone's children. I have a house full of children. I have no need to do so. About the lies about not wanting to work, I've stated, and about, again, people saying that there's all these low income, free childcare resources. Please come if you know of some other than all of the ones that we looked up through United Way, and the Texas Workforce Commission, and neighborhood centers, and all of the other Baker Ripley, and all of the other programs that are here in town, and the homeless shelters. If you know of some that don't have waiting lists, by all means, since you know so much, share them with Vaughn, atvvaughn@gmail.com. Share them with him. He would be glad to have them. But as we've been scouring the resources, we have not found any that currently have a space. Again, he is on numerous waiting lists and would be more than happy to work. But until he finds one, he cannot. And Monkey Speaks, I cannot watch the children because I'm kind of running a nonprofit, kind of working for a university, kind of raising my own family, and kind of dealing with a number of health issues. So I cannot babysit the twins for him to go work a full-time job. It doesn't work that way. I'm about to be canceled, Liz Money. Okay, sure, whatever. I don't care. Canceled for what? If anyone wants to cancel me for lies, I don't care, because those are lies. You're listening to people who have no credibility shout things without any evidence, and you're choosing to believe that that's the truth. But okay, that is fine. You're welcome for the audio to add to the comments. You're welcome, Liz Money, whoever you are. Anyway, moving on. Um, if my I it is very clear what I do and what I stand for, that I stand for disability justice, racial justice. I need mods because this person needs to go. This Liz, here, you can go. um no, I'm not adding you as it. Let me just get rid of you. You are an idiot. Y'all hold on a second, I gotta get this person to freak out of my thing. Goodbye, you stupid idiot. um anyway. Speaking up for the bullies and calling me a bully. I'm on my own page debunking lies, and I'm being yeah, I saw that she played your song platinum, but she hates you so much. I timed the person out. I am being called a bully because I'm clearing my name. That's rich. That's really hilarious. As far as looks, again, I've said multiple times I'm not a beauty queen. But again, my husband likes how I look, and all of the many, many men that I've had in my life before I was married found me were they liked what they saw. They found me attractive, whether or not you think I'm the most beautiful thing on earth, the ugliest thing on earth, average, whatever. That's your prerogative. Hi, Wendy. I consider myself generally just an average person. I think I can clean up and look cute. I can think I have days that I look busted. That's really of little importance. That's never been the thing that's of most importance to me. I'm not a shallow person who just is obsessed with looks. I think there's holistically, when you look at a person, there's a lot of things that make that person who they are beyond just looks. Looks are one factor, but so is character, so is intelligence, so is sense of humor. There's so many things. If someone is repeatedly attacking my looks, I'm going to attack theirs. So yes, I called her ugly, and I'm just going to be honest. Before she ever attacked my looks, I personally did find her ugly. I do think she's ugly. I'm just not trying to be mean. I don't think she's conventionally attractive. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't say I'm a beauty queen either. I think I'm average, but I do think she's ugly. If you feel differently, that's fine. I certainly think she's very ugly on the inside, but I do not think she's an attractive person. Like, if she was not somebody who was bullying and mistreating me, I'd say, I probably wouldn't even remark on her looks. But so people can say everything under the sun about me, my looks, my weight, etc. I don't care. So all of the African booty scratcher and big back and all of those comments, I don't care. You think I haven't heard those types of things being raised in America? All of the ridiculous comments trying to make some type of um, division between the Black community and making all these comments about I need to go back to Africa and all these types of things. I was born here, you know what I mean? But okay, say what you like about, can't teach you Igbo. It's not Igbo, it's Igbo, non-spelling person on the chat when I don't know it, when that's not even my ethnic group. But anyway, let's see. What are some of the other things that were stated that make no sense? I'm not controlling Vaughn and where he lives and what he does. He has his own apartment in his own name, his own lease. And for this story that I'm using a big content creator or getting clout off of the name of Sheena Speaks. Again, Google Sheena Lachey Randolph and Google my name, which I've given to you all numerous times since these people are snooping all over my page, making remarks about my Facebook and my Instagram. Like, I don't care about social media. I almost never post. As for those of you who were following, if this was meant to be a secret, why do I have links all over my page? I have my link tree. I have my website. I have all of these things where you can find every single thing that's connected to me from my research pages, all of that. So if I was trying to hide, I did a very poor job. Um, However, I don't, as you notice, I'll go in and pop in on my birthday or here and there randomly a few times a year and I post. So no, I don't have a whole lot of followers. I don't care what I have, like, I don't know, 1,000 something friends and like 1,000 something additional followers on Facebook. I have, I don't know, 500 on Instagram or something like that. Maybe 200 or, on this platform. I don't care about that. That is so unimportant to me. But yes, I don't have a whole lot of followers. And is that supposed to be, because that's not where I place my time, my energy, and my value. There's nothing wrong with people doing those things, being viral, being influencers. That's just simply not my area of interest. For to say that I'm using Marcus to try to get ahead, I think Marcus's channel is great. I've been watching it for years, but respectfully, I know world leaders and world renowned researchers. I'm not a content creator. A YouTube platform is of really little significance to the work that I do. It's something that I enjoy and I value, but it's not, it's that's not where, that's not you. I guess people just don't understand. That's what matters to you all, the algorithm and likes and all of that. That does not matter to me. I am in a completely different realm, a completely different field, and the things that matter, publication credits and like, people you're serving through research and people who are reading your books and people whose lives you help. Like, those are the things that we measure. Those are the metrics that are of importance to me. Not a bunch of comments on how I look or whatever, whatever. Um, Another thing that let's see, let me try to mention. Um, Let me try to remember these foolish things that were stated. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. It was just I was so funny and so ridiculous that I just really didn't know how to handle it. Um, I never said anything about Sheena's children. I said that she came out of her um her stanky mama's coochie or whatever, or her human trafficking mama's coochie and her pimp daddy's sperm. I didn't say anything about her children. Even though her children are adults, I don't speak on people's children. So I didn't say anything about her children. That was a lie. As usual, Brown Eye either misunderstood or misconstrued what I said. But whatever. But he repeatedly talked about made all these rude remarks about disability and my family and genetics. And I don't have to answer anything to anybody. But again, I've explained that I literally teach graduate courses on disability justice and disability pride. So to you can't shame it's just really, I find it really ironic that people are trying to shame me with information I fed you. Everything that you all are saying about me is stuff that I intentionally made public about myself. You didn't go digging and like find some type of hidden, knowledge that nobody knew. Oh my gosh, I'm going to bring this out. This is all stuff that I have literally published publicly myself or stated myself. So am I supposed to go bursting into tears or apologizing or denying things that I stated? It doesn't make any sense. If anyone wants to ask questions about my disabilities or that of my children, because all of my children have one or more disabilities, and I'm here to try to dispel disability stigma and end ableism and end discrimination. That's a large part of my work. You can't shame me for that. All these remarks about me being bald headed and having wigs. Nice try, Sheena. Yes, I do have one of my numerous conditions is alopecia areata, not the traction alopecia that you seem to have because you have no edges. Hi, shifting towards God, but alopecia areata, which I may not even be pronouncing correctly. I'm just going to be honest. I've never heard the word aloud. I've only read it, so I may be saying it wrong. But it's a different form. A type that's with inflammation, and so yes, I have worn wigs during that period. I was diagnosed with that, I believe, 2021, in the summer of 2021. Fortunately, my hair has grown back, so I don't wear them. So no, I'm not quote unquote bald headed. But if I was, so and you know what I mean? Ayanna Pressley, who is an amazing, senator who I admire a lot and have actually worked with her before, is bald because of the same condition. Jada Pinkett Smith, had this condition. So many people have this condition. Tupac actually had it. You know what I mean? It wasn't stylish to go bald at the time. He kind of did it prematurely, and then it became this cool thing for Black males to do. But that really wasn't the thing at the time. He kind of made it a trend. But anyway, as far as Sheena and all of your HIV stigma that you're pushing, it's not AIDS. It's HIV. AIDS is just simply an antiquated term for when a person who has HIV has gone to an advanced state to where they have less than 200 CD4 count. CD4, which are type of white blood cells, type of leukocytes. Just to let you know that, since you're in the so-called healthcare field and everything, or when they've gotten one or more opportunistic infections, which typically people do not get unless their system is quite, in poor shape. And so, if you one or more of those reasons, hey, Raquel, is why a person would have that. It's not called AIDS anymore. So, but yes, I have people in my family with it, like a lot of the Black community does. And that's another thing I'm trying to dispel shame about disability, gender, race, whatever it is, income, sexuality, educational attainment. As I've mentioned, my grandmother was pretty much functionally illiterate. So while everyone is always trying to shame me about my education, pursuing education, again, I'm just two generations away from someone who didn't even go to school. And so I always talk about the importance of lived and learned expertise, that you can have a PhD in your life, in the different things that you've learned and the things that you know about. And my whole freaking dissertation is about respecting the contributions of the people, regardless if they've got those little letters behind their name or not, or that piece of paper. So while you're constantly trying to shame the way that I speak, brown eye, crater face, monkey speaks, Sheena speaks, and Kang of bums, this is how I speak, whether you like it or not. It is you who keep constantly obsessing over my degrees over and over and over again, and over my IQ. And no matter how many times you misuse words, big words, words that you think are big words, but words that I knew when I was in elementary school when I couldn't even tie my shoes yet, and how many times that you try to imitate my cadence or whatever it is, The fact of the matter is, I am gifted. I didn't ask to be born this way, but I am in the top 1 to 2% of IQ. And there's other people right here on this app with me that literally in this chat who are also gifted. Being gifted is not a gift. It's almost like a curse. You know what I mean? It would be nicer to be of average. But again, that's just one thing about me. There's a lot of things that other people have, the skills that they have that I don't have. You know what I mean? Whether it's writing music or singing or athletics or whatever. Why are you so obsessed about trying to take away the thing that is a fact? But I don't have to I'm used to this, so I'm not going to have to explain this to anyone. This is foolishness. Sheena, your foolish remark about Vaughn liked me, he thought I was pretty and I could have had him, but I don't pay for pain. Sweetheart, I don't know how many times I've had to explain to you that I am not romantically involved with that man, and I know that that's probably the most attractive man you've ever seen, but I've literally dated models. I've literally had a supermodel as an ex. You know what I mean? Like he's, yes, he's a nice looking guy, but again, like this is the most you are obsessed with his appearance. You know what I mean? I don't have to pay for anything. I've literally had men buy me cars and whatever. I pay for stuff and without having to give up the goods. And not men who are drug dealers doing this. Like, what I mean, like you're, the man that you bragged about so much last year. I don't have to do that. I don't have to pay for anything or anybody, but um he has told me, I know you passionately find, and everybody keeps joking about being in the chat when he was flirting, but sweetheart, I've seen the women that Vaughn dates. He did not like you. He did not find you attractive because you're not attractive. But even if he did, so why would I be angry or care? I have a husband. I'm married. That's the man I want. Now, if my husband wanted you, first I would think he injured himself. He got a traumatic brain injury. Something was seriously wrong with him, or he was on drugs. But aside from that, then I'd be concerned. That would be my problem. If my man wanted you, not somebody else's, well, not even somebody else's man, because Vaughn is single, a man that I'm not with, a friend, why would I care or be jealous or concerned about him liking you, other than the fact that I would be really concerned about his taste in women or animals? You know what I mean? But at any rate, no, I don't care. I do not care at all. And let me see what else I need to share. Um, Everyone keeps talking about the castle is falling down, the castle is cracking down. I'm Morenike. I'm MGO. I'm me. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm a council resident and proud of it. That is a place where I have a membership. I also am. I have a membership on Sunny's channel as well. I have a membership. I was gifted a membership to one of the channels that I'm on for in the Mo3 sector. Like again, I told y'all I don't even really. I've only recently learned who Mo3 is. So I probably will not renew that membership. Not to be mean, but it's just not my thing. Um, but I I am me. So if I'm not falling down or anything like that, because everything that was stated about me was a lie to begin with anyway. But if anyone chooses to believe those lies, fine, believe them. You probably not were not supporting my work anyway, or anything like that. So it's not going to impact my life in any way. But anything that anyone criticizing me or dogging me, harassing me has no bearing on any content creator or anyone that I'm affiliated with. That's me, and that's what I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? So don't try to put that on someone else as their downfall. That's ridiculous. And traitor face, you're saying that Open came out with this and then everybody took a side and this and the other. I don't have any problems with Open, and she knows that. So you're making up stories and connecting things that are not connected. Hey Vine, isn't this foolish? Isn't this just foolish? Hey Copper, all of this is foolish. This has to do with the fact that for over a year, since September 2024, and I have an entire Google Drive folder of receipts from that time. And Platinum and Raquel are in here. They can attest that now for 13 months, Sheena has not left me alone over something that was a misunderstanding that everybody else, every other adult has discussed and squashed. She continues to make up lies and stories like she's done with so many people. She has created so many problems for me. You know what I mean? Because of her choosing, because she's a lying, narcissistic, sick individual, but because of a misunderstanding, a remark that I made that was not mean, what I mean, just my opinion about her outfit, she has continued to create problems for me for over a year. And so I have proof. I have all kinds of proof of my attempts to try to dead this thing, and it is not. So, in closing, because I don't want to devote too much time to this nonsense, um, Oh, I'm sorry. Another thing I want to address that Brown Eye Crater Face kept saying, Vaughn sits on his app, his live saying, you feel me, wearing no shirt. Why does he have to wear a shirt? Do you know how hot it is in Houston? Do you know that it's in the triple digits like all the time? It's still 90 something degrees here in October. It's hot. If he wants to sit in his own home, hey, Ricochet, his own home that's and his in his name and not wear a shirt, he doesn't have to wear a shirt. He doesn't have to be shirt. He can be shirtless every day, all day if he wants to. And he does not put his entire life online. So during the day, the early part of the day, when he's doing educational things with the children who are very advanced children, very well behaved, very sweet children, he doesn't put all of that on the camera because that's their personal business. But if he wants to get on and vibe with his people for a little while, if there's two in the chat, one in the chat, 12 in the chat, who cares? Because that's not what he's about. He's not trying to build a name off of all this foolishness. He's had success and clout in other ways. So that does not matter. That is it's so ridiculous. You know what I mean? For you all to jump on. And so for you to say, would people, donors or whomever, be happy that this is who their money is going to? I hope they would. I hope they would look at Vaughn, who is a survivor, who is a good father, who is a strong Black man who loves the Lord and a loyal friend. I hope they certainly would look and say, "Oh, I'm so glad that my donations or whatever went to help that family, went to help that man who's a stand-up guy who's taking care of his kids, who will do anything for his kids, all of his kids." I certainly hope that's what they would say, what they would think. And so, anyone who has ever given any donation to Advocacy Without Borders, if you want your money back, if you heard those ridiculous lies from Crater Face, Kang of Bums, and Monkey Speaks, the child molester, if you want, and the R. Kelly supporter, if you want your money back that you gave, since we got a total of under $700, if you want your money back that you gave, to please send a Cash App request to Advocacy No Borders, and if you were one of the givers, I will return your money happily to you. Because if you don't want to support the work that we do at my organization, and specifically did not want to support this family that deserved support, then we will be happy to return your money to you. There's no need to scam here. There is no need to scam here. We are in good standing. The donations make up such a small part of the budget of my organizations. It's primarily grants. So, and then the money that I put in from working, because yes, I do work. So, Mark Jones, I can't handle the questions, John Jay. You didn't give any money. How can you want money back that you didn't give? Remember, you didn't donate a thing, so and to refute the foolishness of Sheena speaks about we were jealous about Ileana and Tone getting a babysitter. Ask Ileana and Tone. I've given them. They're among the interviewees that I've cashed apped and sent money to. So again, I don't toot my own horn. I have given thousands of dollars. I'm not even talking about my nonprofit. I just me have given thousands of dollars to different people, to different interviewees. I've been watching these channels for years. You all just knew about me last year, but this is something that I've been doing. I'm not concerned about foolish people like in the chat with fake names like Mark Jones or John Jay, Crater Face Brown Eye. They can say all the things that you want to say about me in the world. You can call me Big Back. You can talk about turkey wings. You can talk about whatever. My man loves it. You know what I mean? God loves me, and I know what I've done. If I drop dead tonight, I know the contributions that I've made on this world. I know all of the things that I do. You have no idea who you're talking to, who you're trying to belittle or berate. It's very sad to me, but that's of little importance. Um, you know what I mean? It's just really more of a reflection of who you are. You all are. So if you want to try to stop the work that is done, this is not just an organization for me; it's a ministry. So I will say, like I said earlier today, we are everything about us is in the clear, on the up and up. You know what I mean? So, but again, if you want to try to go to the BBB or go to the IRS or do whatever and make false claims, by all means, do it. Do it. Go for it because it's not going to stand because we're not doing anything unethical or illegal. We're not misappropriating our funds. If you had the intelligence that you think you have, you would know that most nonprofit organizations have to do external audits annually if they're getting any grants. And so, therefore, you do it with an external, independent accounting firm that is licensed. And they send a report about your finances. So it's not even something that you do internally that you can do in house. You cannot have the people cannot be connected to you in any way, shape, or form, or it would be a conflict of interest. Sheena Monkey Speaks. I've never gotten a PPP loan. See, we didn't need that. We weren't broke during coronavirus. So neither me nor my man needed to borrow any PPP money. So we didn't need to pay it back. Look it up. It's public record, dear. And with that, I made a shout out on my page that if you need some comical relief, if you're bored and you need a laugh at some fiction, check out Brown Eye Crater Face. You know, the person who's got all of the dents in his face, like Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is actually more handsome. Check him out on his page. You know, the person who calls women B's and H's all day. You know what I mean? No respect for anyone, whatsoever. Yells at even the people who are loyal to him, like Kelly Kells and dark skinned Keisha, calls them names and berates people. Go there or go to Kang of Bums page. You know what I mean? The person who I never said he has 5 or 7 baby mamas. I said you had 5 to 7 children. I don't know how many children you have, but the one who likes to keep it in the family, with his marriages. Or go to Sheena Speaks, the person who molested her nieces. You know what I mean? The person who supports R. Kelly and who has lied repeatedly on so many people and just creates chaos. My name, my reputation, and my character speaks for itself. Anyone who feels differently, if you don't like the paragraphs that I write in the chat, you don't like the way that I speak, you don't like the way that I look, no one asked you to have anything to do with me. Block me. I don't care about you. I'm not a content creator. You're not going to stop what God has for me. And with that, I'm going to end. This will stay up. I'm going to the castle. If you think that the castle got burned down and you don't want to go there, cool, don't go there. As I mentioned, I like Open and I totally support her. You know what I mean? I'm not taking sides. I've always been neutral on this page, on this app. You know what I mean? F, Brown Eye, Crater Face, King of Bums, and Sheena. But anybody else? Oh, and also that drunk, that bougie drunk whore, who's morbidly obese. F her too. But other than that, I don't have a problem with any of y'all. I'm cool with everybody. You know what I mean? So cool with everybody, support everybody, even if they don't get along with one another. I have no problem. So by all means, hit up the clubhouse, hit up the opinionated news station, hit up the truth sector, hit up the adults, hit up Sunny, hit up Ken, hit up all of these people. Granny, Foreign Blood. I'm forgetting people, and I'm sorry that I'm forgetting you, but you all don't have to like one another, and that's fine. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. But where I'm going now is I'm going over to the castle. Be blessed. Bougie Collective or your mama slow? No, my mother's not like yours. My mother actually has a graduate degree and speaks multiple languages and is quite smart. You know what I mean? Again, you came for me the other day and you mentioned me in your little live when you were trying to tell us that you were running or whatever you were doing, which you need to keep running, sweetheart, because you're big. Also, stop drinking and stop traumatizing your daughter. Kiki, Erica, have a nice day. Keep on being furloughed. Be blessed, everyone.